much for joining me today. My name is Stephanie and I will be your yoga teacher for today. This yoga flow is going to be made perfect for runners. We use these hips and these legs a whole lot to run, and so that's going to be our focus today. The only things that you're going to need would be your mat and then maybe a bolster or some blocks. So go ahead and meet me on your mat. We're just going to start in a nice easy position here. Cross-legged, Indian style here. Or if you don't like crossing your ankles, you can tuck that left foot in and then bring the right foot in front of it. Go ahead and sit up nice and tall. Begin to bring the awareness to the present moment. How are you feeling today? What does the air around you feel like today? I would ask you how your run went this morning, but I want you to get a little more out of your head and a little more into your body here. Noticing the feelings, noticing the thoughts that come up, acknowledging them, and letting them go. Begin to focus on your breath. Nice steady inhales through the nose, expanding through the chest and all through the belly, and slowly letting it all out through the nose. Ujjayi breathing. Such an awesome breathing technique, especially when we're on the mat. Deep, conscious breaths. That's what we're here to do today. When we get into tight positions or into positions where we are tight, our breath will get us through them. Go ahead and set an intention for yourself today. What brought you to this mat and what's going to keep you here? Go ahead and take some circles with our nose. So just pretend that you're drawing circles with your nose. You can start at the right, look up, all the way over to the left, back down. And again, you can imagine this would be a really big circle. If I had chalk or something on my nose, rubbing it against the chalkboard. This is a great way to get the neck warmed up. And reverse your circle. Very nice. When we're running, our neck can get a little beat up there. So that's good to do that before you run too. Get you some neck rolls in. Go ahead and open your legs up into our wide-legged seated position. Your legs do not have to be as wide as mine. They can be much more narrow. It doesn't matter. Egos don't care right now how far our legs are open. Okay? So while we're in this position, seated tall as you can. If this is very uncomfortable and you're immediately rounding, you can't straighten your spine here, you could use a block and pop it under your sits bones. This is going to offer you a lot more space to access this position seated upright. We want a tall spine. and we want the outward rotation. So we don't want our legs folding forward. See my feet dropping forward? We want them to come back. Open rotation. And to do this, you can take your hands and kind of press, and you'll see that naturally they want to roll backwards in this position. This is a healthy position. Tall spine. We're just seated and we're sitting up tall. You'll feel this all in your legs because this is a good stretch for the insides of our legs, which normally we're more focused on the outer muscles, not so much the interior ones. Just feel this stretch here. We're not going side to side, nor are we folding into pancake. We are feeling this, and we're using our back and our core to hold us upright. Crown of the head is actively reaching towards the ceiling. This should not be easy to sit here like this. This is not exactly comfortable to me. I could sit here for a while, but eventually my back's going to begin to round because my core isn't that strong yet. We're working on it though. Nice. So I think we felt this one pretty good. Got the stretch through. So let's go ahead and bring our feet to touch for cobbler. And I want you to butterfly those legs. So just some light, gentle pressure on those hips. Not a lot. I'm not asking you to push hard. You can do one at a time. They used to teach us, the little butterfly in school. I like the butterfly instead of just the press, because it allows you to work the muscles and to stretch them. Mobility is what we are after. I am going to ask you to fold here. I want you to keep the spine straight. When you straighten your spine and try to come forward, you're going to realize you don't come as far, or I should say, you don't come as far with your head. Normal cobbler, we like to round, but we're actually going to keep the spine straight. So we're working on getting our belly and our chest down to our feet, not our head. You can put your hands around your feet if that feels good. If it feels better for your hands to be out in front of you, please take that option. And just breathe. Breathe those loving breaths into those tight spaces. Nice. Slowly begin to come back up. We're going to come over into an all fours position. So hips over our knees, shoulders are over our wrists, and our spine is straight. Good, fill into this position, get it right, grip that mat, and go ahead and send the right leg back. Foot is still on the ground, so you're stretching all through that calf muscle on the right. Breathe. If it feels good, you can kind of rock back and forth, coming off and then pressing, coming off and pressing. Or static hold, whichever you prefer. Nice, and and release, and send the left foot back, left leg back, and press into that calf muscle. Go ahead and release that one down. We're going to bring our right foot in between our hands for our runner's lunge here. So we're leaving that left knee on the ground. We are keeping our hands on the mat. We are just feeling into these hips, which I've not been running, but I'm doing a bunch of walking and my hips are really tight. So I kind of figured I would know exactly what a runner might like here. Whew. This is pulling on my left psoas muscle and all through my thighs on my right. So I got my left psoas and right thighs and hips. Breathe love into the tight spaces. It's okay. We have to accept that when we work our bodies like that, we create this tightness that we are responsible to release. Go ahead and push back into our half splits here. You can kind of come up a little bit and then try to fold deeper, keeping a slight bend in this right knee. We don't want to damage our knees here. Breathe. Deep, loving inhales and exhales. Nice. Go ahead and plant that right foot back down and heel toe to walk it to the outside edge of the mat. We're going to keep our left knee on the ground and we're just going to feel our lizard pose here. So the tight hips are going to make this very, very uncomfortable here. It's okay. It's what we're looking for. There should not be any tight shooting, stabbing pains. Discomfort is okay. But we don't want to be hurting ourselves. We want this to feel good. In an uncomfortable way. Yeah. If you feel good here now, you can come on down to your forearms. Deepen that stretch just a little bit. Walk your body back up. You can heel toe that foot all the way over towards the left, and we're going to drop it down for our pigeon. So go ahead and come into your most beautiful pigeon here. If you want the block, please use the block under that right hip. It'll help create some freedom in the pose there. Keep that right foot active. Your knee is probably not going to be at I'm going to show you here. It's not going to be at this 90 degrees. This requires an extremely open hip. It's probably going to be at more of the angle like this. Okay? So here's where we are. Sitting up nice and tall. Beautiful pigeon. And if you want, same option as the lizard, you can come down on those forearms here. And just breathe. Breathe the love into the tight spaces. Allow the breath to get you through the pose. back to the hands. And push back and put your foot back or leg back for all fours. Coming back to our original starting position. I'm sure the right hip now feels very open and your left feels very tight. So I go ahead and bring the left foot through between the hands. Here we are, runner's lunge. Just be down here. I guess this is more low lunge because we have our back knee down. I guess that a runner's lunge would technically be with our leg lifted. Correct me if I'm wrong, but I think that's right. This is just a crescent or low lunge. I'll have to look into that. We got low lunge and we got high lunge. We got crescent lunge and we got runner's lunge. I always consider this runner's lunge because I'm down, I'm not coming up. I consider this is crescent lunge, this is runner's lunge. But then what would this be if this is high lunge? I don't know. Yogi talk. Thanks for joining. Go ahead and push back into our half splits. Slight bend in that left knee is good. Like the same as the other side. You can come up out of this pose and then kind of fold back into it a few times. Allow that breath to take you deeper. The inhales will bring you up and the exhales will allow you to fold. Just like the twist, our breaths play a big part in our mobility. So far, this has felt the best to me. These half splits with my hips and legs are amazing. And roll forward and heel toe. That left foot out. Lizard lunge here. Just feel this position with you upright at first before you try to drop down to those forearms. I think my left psoas muscle is looser than my right was today. You can try to come down to your forearms if that feels good for you. Now we're going to heel toe that foot all the way over to the right wrist and bring it down for our pigeon. Make sure that back leg is straight behind you. Sit up nice and tall. Fill it upright first, that active left foot, protecting the left knee. And come on down to the forearms, if you can. just sit back on your left booty. Go ahead and send those legs out long. And then go ahead and bring your right leg up. Hug that right leg into the chest. And we're gonna hug our right knee with our left hand and our left arm here. And then our right hand, we're gonna go over the rainbow all the way around behind us. A nice gentle twist here. I love a twist. Go ahead and release. Drop the right leg down, pull the left one up. Hug that knee into the chest. And hug it with your right arm. And then the left one sweeps all the way around the rainbow behind us. Very nice. Center. Now we have both legs out long. If you like the block under your sits bones, ask you to go ahead and do that now. If you have a pillow or a bolster, you can use it for our forward fold here. Go ahead and inhale those arms up overhead and exhale, fold. Let it all go. Slowly begin to pull yourself back up. You can remove the bolster and come on down to your back. You're gonna take a happy baby. So go ahead and send those legs up. And then either you can grab from the thighs, or you can grab from your calves or your ankles, or you can grab your feet and pull those knees down towards your armpits. Breathing still, conscious breaths. This is another one where you're going to feel the tightness, so send that loving breath to those tight spaces. Being aware of you and your body. The only things that we really control is ourselves and our actions and reactions. There should be freedom, though, in knowing that that's all we control. If you want, you can try to straighten your right leg. Feel how much different that feels. And what does it feel like to straighten the left one? I like to plug both those knees in and drop them out long. Coming into our Shavasana here. Legs out long, shoulder blades tucked, palm of the hands towards the ceiling. Grin is on the face. You're amazing. You've made it through it. And I hope you feel so much better. Thank you so much for joining me today. I look forward to seeing you back on the mat tomorrow. Namaste.